Sort of, but just some change in inside the company. It's
Mhm.
not a big deal.
Oh, okay,
No,
I see.
no promotion, no pay rise.
Oh, no.
So,
Just reorganization, maybe?
yes, only some change for the organization itself. But
Mhm.
the contract is still here in Shanghai. Mhm.
Mhm. So what's the new year like for you? Do you have any big plans for the Spring Festival?
Summer festival, yeah.
Mm.
Usually, I come back to my hometown for the Chinese Spring Festival. But
Mhm.
this year, I will try to stay here in Shanghai.
Okay. So what are some traditions maybe that you can tell me about?
Yeah,
I'm looking for something.
three main big traditions for that:
Mhm.
red envelope,
Mhm.
dumplings, firecrackers. They are the three typical ones for the Chinese New Year.
Uh-huh. I see. That's it. Well, we can, you mentioned last time you said something about propaganda. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or we can read something and do critical thinking too.
Yeah, I book another lesson in February 4, I think.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, at the end of this week. I'm not prepared that kind of stuff. So let's talk about February 4th
Okay. What's
about
February
the
4th? Oh, talk on February 4th. About
yeah,
what?
yeah propaganda stuff.
Oh, that's
The
okay. That's okay. Yeah, we can talk about that then. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
mhm,
Well, we can do some critical thinking and read the article,
mhm.
a controversial article, if you want. Do you want to do that
Mm,
to practice, or do you rather have free talk?
uh, yeah, uh, it's okay. Let's
Okay,
do the
we'll give it a
article.
try. Give it a
Hmm
try.
hmm Yeah, half and half. Let's make it half and half.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Go ahead. You can read it.
Israel protesters call for election and Gaza ceasefire.
Mhm.
Gaza is a
So,
location, right?
yeah, this is a location. So, this is a controversial topic. So, I think it's good to practice critical thinking by thinking of something controversial. Uh,
Hmm
yeah. So, what
Nice.
do you know about this current event?
You mean between the Israel and the what's that country?
Gaza. Gaza.
Gaza. Gaza is okay, okay.
Mhm.
Ceasefire is the current law. It's the wars between these two countries, right?
Say that one more time, Charlie. Tell me again. Let me
The
turn up my volume. Hang on.
the wars between these two countries, right?
Yes. So ceasefire
See,
just means stop fighting.
but the elections. Why is something to do with the elections?
Elections. Well, let's read about it. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at it. Um, do you know these words or no? You can.
Hostage, okay. Hostage, it's okay. Genocide, uh, large people, particular national. Okay, got that. Beholden, new to me. Have studies with someone because of help service provided.
Mm.
That I don't have to be
So
holding
if
to
you're
him.
beholden to somebody, that means you.
Own
Um,
somebody?
it means that you owe them something, or they have control of you, kind of beholden to
Mm-hmm.
them. Um,
Accountability,
accountability.
this one I'm familiar with. Collision, some electric uh, agreement work together towards shared goal. Yeah, collision. They take as a unit for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay,
So like many countries can form a coalition. Uh,
coalition.
maybe maybe some companies would form a coalition. Maybe. Usually it's
Mhm.
countries.
North Pacific, uh, North Pacific
Coalition?
association,
Yeah, maybe
coalition,
so. Yeah.
uh-huh. uh, abducted by force. Okay, okay,
This
got
word is used like a alien abduction or the
alien
alien
abduction.
abducts the person.
Okay,
You can take
monster abduction. Okay, Israel protesters call for election and Gaza or Gaza,
Gaza, Gaza.
Gaza ceasefire. The mood for the Israel public is shifting after more than 100 days of war in Gaza, and many are unhappy with the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Netanyahu.
Netanyahu. Okay. Israel, stunned by the brutal Hamas attack. Hamas. This is familiar. Hamas attack on October 7th, were at first united behind the war effort. But as more Israeli soldiers were killed, with dozens of hostages still in Gaza and Hamas still standing, more Israelis are protesting against Netanyahu and his government.
Yeah, so let's think about this. So I know that people in China have different views, people in America have different views. So it's good to see both views, right? So what's your view on this? What's your opinion?
I, 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 I sort of forget about the background,
Oh,
why
that's
they are.
okay. It's okay. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know how popular this was in China. Maybe it's not super popular.
I heard the news, but I didn't go deep into that. I know the countries they have
Mhm.
several wars in
Yes.
1970s, and
Yes.
but but uh, uh, it seems that they have been in peace in decades. And
Mhm.
what caused this war, the recent the January war?
Yeah. So there are lots of underlining reasons, right?
Hmm.
So why this may have caused this war. I know that uh, Palestine wants a independent country. They want their own free country, right?
Hmm.
But there's a debate over who owns this land, right? So, what are some good questions to ask about it? It's complicated.
But the question has been there for decades.
Okay.
What caused the fire, the war, the recent wars? There must be
There was a
something, the tipping point, or
yeah, there was a terrorist attack. Terrorist attack.
terrorist attack. Okay, but it's not controlled by the Pakistan.
The terrorist attack was by Gaza on Israel
Gaza,
people. Yeah,
Israel.
Gaza on the Israeli people. So this started a flare up, right? Bigger war. Mhm.
Okay, okay. Mm, for that, I do think it's maybe it's a good way for to the critical thinking. The thing is, different nationalities with different opinion on that.
Right.
Mm,
That's my point. Yeah.
the thing is, in China, there is the speech, the news are uh, heavily uh, filtered or censorship.
Censored.
Yes, censored by the government itself.
Uh-huh.
We cannot access to the Google, YouTube,
Hmm.
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp.
Hmm.
So
Right.
lots of free informations. Even for the New York Times, CNN, BBC, VOA, this
Hmm.
kind of the main traditional main media, but we
Hmm.
have limited access to that.
Yes.
So actually, the information the Chinese people, normal Chinese people, get that kind of information is totally mm, pro- postponed by the you mentioned earlier CCTV.
That's it. That's it.
So, as most of the audience here in China, they turn to read the simplified Chinese, as well
Okay.
as the traditional Chinese in Taiwan or Hong Kong, Macau.
Mhm.
We have limited access to that as well. So the thing is, in simple Chinese, the the news itself is heavily censorship.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we kind of uh, lack the ability, lack the opportunity to access to the full picture.
I see. Yes, yes, yes. Because the information's controlled.
So,
Uh,
so in my personal thinking, this is maybe not most appropriate stuff to do critical thinking because we
I see.
cannot gather information freely, right?
Yes, I see. That's a
It's
good
a,
point. Um,
it's a similar not Soviet Union in Moscow. What's the country called? Russia.
Russia. Russia.
Yeah, Russia itself. Uh, until recently, Russia has increased the censorship of the social media.
Mhm.
Back then, maybe they prohibited the Instagram and Facebook now, but earlier, back to several years, several months, even several months or several years later, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, they can use freely in Russia.
Mhm.
So for the news censorship itself, I think there are pretty limited, less countries that can compare with here in China. Maybe North Korea is one of them.
Mhm. Yes.
So the comparison between Sino and the US, their opinions totally based on different information.
Right.
We cannot think unbiasedly.
Right. Well, that's the challenge. I wouldn't say you couldn't. Um, but yeah, that's the problem. So how can you think critically if you don't have all the information?
So the first step is is crucial. You have to think behind that. The report, the journalist say this way, mm, their affiliations. Maybe he tells the truth, but his
Mhm.
affiliation is to the state-owned stations.
Mhm.
So if he tried to tell the truth, he tried to say something against the me, media, maybe he
Mhm.
will get punishment or something like that.
Mhm.
His own safety maybe may have a safety concern to himself. So
Mhm.
he kind of say something maybe not fact with facts, but only part of that, only
Mhm.
part of the facts.
Mhm.
And his stand of view may also be questioned. It's the
Mhm.
same fact, but he may lead to different conclusions, in the
Okay.
opposite conclusions. Uh, that's his two things
So
for
what I
the.
hear you saying is question the motives.
Uh,
Question the motives of the
mm,
person saying the information.
I will try not to say the motives itself. What I try to express is the fact, the part of fact, the conclusion
Mhm.
he draw may be to the different ones. He can
Okay.
say conclusion one, conclusion B
Mhm.
in the same topics in different times.
Oh, I see. So the ability to form multiple conclusions to the same information.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think
a
I understand. I see. So it's not just one conclusion, it could be multiple things. Mm.
I would rather say this kind of information, the control, the censorship information, is has nothing to do with the fact itself. It's more like a propaganda. For example, back to several months earlier, our president Xi went to U.S. to have a meeting with President Biden.
Mhm.
In that short period of time,
Mhm.
the whole information in simple Chinese media, in the mainland of media, we controlled to say anything bad about the U.S.,
Mhm.
say anything bad of the U.S. If you do something, you will be um, your account will be temporarily banned, maybe for 7 days or several other.
If you say
It's a,
something critical about the CCP, Is that what you're saying?
Back several months earlier,
Mhm.
President Xi go to US to have a
Yes.
meeting with John Biden.
Yes.
During that period of time, during that period of time, in Chinese mainland social media, say something bad about US is
US.
prohibited.
Oh, you couldn't say something bad about the US.
But
Okay.
normally it's not the case.
I see. I'm just trying to clarify. Trying to
Yeah.
clarify.
So the thing is, uh,
Oh, I see what you're saying. You couldn't say anything bad during this period. Yes. I see
but
now.
except the period, you see anything like that, you get lots of traffic, and you can sell them as ads, and make
Okay.
you profitable. So the thing is, there's uh, some opinions in a book that says that currently our party here, what he does and what he's saying has nothing to do with fact, has nothing to do with his opinion.
Okay.
The only thing he says or the policy goes is that what he's saying or the policy itself have some benefit to the party itself,
Okay.
could benefit the party. So the policy, the words could be totally opposite different during different period of time.
Hmm.
I
So
will give
the
you
motive is to benefit the party. The
uh
purpose is to benefit the party. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So the I could give you a quick example about that.
Mhm.
Uh, back to 1980s, there is a one-child policy.
Mhm.
Two Chinese new married couples could only
Mhm.
have one child, no matter it's boy or girl.
Yeah. I know a little
And
bit. A little bit.
yeah, the 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 doing against that kind of policy, the price is brutal.
So breaking this law is a brutal consequence.
It's not the law; it's just a temporary policy.
Okay.
Back to now, back to 2020, totally free to raise many as kids as possible.
Right.
So it's the policy itself is only a way to benefit the party itself.
Mhm.
Has nothing to do with others.
Okay. Nothing to do with citizens or people. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
So
So the,
for the people who is pretty hate or against CCP,
Mhm.
they will say that uh, all the people here in mainland China are just the slaves of the CCP leaders himself.
Okay.
Because because the safety, the happy, the seek of the his life here is totally controlled by the party.
Mhm.
The party give you some freedom because you can benefit to the party.
Mm.
You is the word. It's just opinion. I'm not
Yeah, I know
totally
I know
agree
that's your
with that.
opinion. Yeah.
Well, that is not my opinion. That's some of
That's
the
an opinion. An
yeah.
opinion.
So someone who goes to extreme, not extremes. Someone who was mm, special, taken good care of by the CCP.
I
Special,
see.
take,
Yes.
they're harassed, and maybe the safety concerns is a big issue.
Mhm.
Their opinion.
Mhm.
But the thing is, for most people here, CCP is only a small group. It can the policy may influence lots of people, but not everyone will suffer from physically or mentally.
Mhm.
So those ones who do not suffer do not can do not have that kind of hate to the party itself.
Mhm.
Because during the Deng Xiaoping period of time,
Mhm.
the reform and open the country itself, it,
Mhm.
it makes a minority of people get pretty richer, much richer than the others.
Right.
So lots of a period, a small portion of people, they feel gratitude to the party, to the
towards
country.
the party for this growth and development.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see. That's interesting. So is this an illusion or not an illusion? I don't know.
What kind of illusion?
I mean, do you think that this growth and benefit is now an illusion, or is it still real and good? Like, what's your opinion?
Definitely, it's so when you can feel about it, when you can benefit from it,
Hmm.
for you, it's not an illusion. But for the
Right.
majority people, they are back maybe 15 years from now, maybe 20 years, China gets 2 digits GDP growth per year.
Hmm.
That's is still incredible. But the thing is, the increase of the GDP, the increase of the uh, wealth itself,
Hmm.
mostly taken back to the government, not the government. You could say the government because the government were less small portions
Hmm.
were to the people itself.
Yes.
So the majority of people they do see the changes,
Yes.
but they do not benefit that much.
Yes, right. So maybe it's an illusion to everybody as a whole, but not an illusion for China and the country and the growth. It's like all that is real, right? Yeah.
So if a country's growth, country's prosperous has nothing to do with majority of the citizen, the purpose the growth itself seems meaningless because it just lacks the wealthy people. He makes the poor people too poor
Hmm.
to get his to get his wealthy grow.
Hmm. Well, those are good opinions, interesting opinions. I think you're doing critical thinking, right? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Back to this case, the Israel and Gaza, it's just kind of information. It's just the news keep to me and all you. You are
Hmm.
not in there. You are not sitting. You are not living in a house which a missile will launch
Exactly.
nearby.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
it's just the news to you and to me.
Right.
So
That's true.
somebody could never feel the same empathy for the people who actually live there.
Well, sure. Or know the whole story or know
Mhm.
everything that's happening, right? Which is why it's good to see two sides of every issue, right? To try to
Mhm.
understand where both countries are coming from, if you can.
I'm a little curious. Why are you a little bit interested mm, in the Chinese the politics or the influence to these people or to other countries?
I wouldn't say I'm super interested in it. I know that you said you wanted to do critical thinking, and at the first class, you said something about controlling information. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought that maybe you'd be interested. But I also have taught thousands of students from China. So I know a lot about China and a lot about Chinese culture. Yeah.
So the thing is, have you ever met anyone like me who will talk to you about the politics, the parties?
Not really. I've taught so many children because children, I make more money with children.
Oh, okay.
I make more
You
money with
talk
children.
at complicates, right?
Yeah, 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 uh-huh, yeah. So then, but I've taught some adults too.
Mm-hmm.
But you're definitely very smart and give me interesting information. Yeah. Hmm.
Maybe I'm not smart enough. I just willing to share some of the feelings.
Uh,
When you talk to, I think when you talk to any students there back in China, they are not willing to talk about the parties, the policies itself.
yeah, I've taught some adults and they're a little nervous about it. Um,
Definitely.
but it's interesting, and I think that I see this on the news too.
Uh-huh.
The news is about America and China. Yeah, so I know a little bit.
You mean the text the traffic the war between the chips or some other stuff?
Well, the news has this war, but the news also just has like the relationship between China and America, you know.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. And I can watch CGTN. I can watch this on YouTube. So I see the propaganda or the message too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only thing that what he is saying is the date and the place.
I'm sorry, say that again.
There back to Soviet Union, there is a paper named the paper of truth. The paper name is the truth.
Okay, I don't know that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will, this is Chinese. You can translate into.
Okay, I see it.
It's a newspaper from Soviet Union
Uh-huh.
that one citizens they said they have the opinion about the paper itself. So the paper's name about the truth, the truth, the truth of everything. I could think of that.
Uh-huh.
But the only truth about the paper itself is the date and place. Other than these two, they are
Right.
totally lies.
Right. So then what you're saying is reality doesn't exist except for the time and place.
Not reality. It's the lie itself. Reality exists, just don't know it. It's not represented from the
Right.
paper, from the media.
Right. Or reality doesn't exist in the paper, is what you're saying.
Yeah, reality is something when you have sort of in that kind of circumstances in the movement or in 1989 4th of July, 4th of June, you
Okay.
in that kind of position, you can maybe in 2019 the Hong Kong protesting,
Mhm.
the umbrella movement in Taiwan. So maybe
Yes.
you if you are involved in this kind of movement, you can catch a glance of the truth. Not fully,
Yes.
definitely not fully, because maybe you are different people. They experience the same movement. They have different feelings.
That's it. I think your critical thinking skills are really good. You seem to be able to think about all this stuff with limited information. Um, and
Thanks for that.
yeah, it's really impressive. Yeah. Mhm.
So maybe apart from the critical thinking, for further classes, you can teach some about the writing for the insertion or
Oh, I
thesis.
see. I see. Yeah, we can look at that too. Uh-huh. Okay, well, it was very insightful and interesting. Insightful. Mhm.
Okay,
I'll see you next time. Okay, Charlie.
bye bye.
Happy New Year. Happy almost New Year.